Let's be real, everyone talks about the beautiful sunset beaches and the aesthetic cafes, but nobody really talks about the cost of living in Sydney. Everyone knows that Sydney is one of the most expensive cities in the world, and if you're deciding to move here without a plan, you might risk to burn your savings in a couple of weeks. I've been living in Sydney for 4 years, and today I'm going through my finance tracker, no gatekeeping, my groceries, my rent, and even my weekend fund budget. So if you're planning to move to Sydney or you're just trying to survive, this video is for you. Welcome to what living in Sydney actually costs in 2026 with no filters. Okay, let's start with the elephant in the room, which is rent. In Australia and in Sydney, we don't talk about monthly rent, we talk about weekly rent. And you might be surprised that you come to Sydney and you see like $800 and you think, oh, that's so cheap. But then you realize that $800 is per week. We are renting here, we didn't buy our own apartments yet. So I'm only talking about rental costs. I won't touch the costs of owning a property. So we are paying now $700 per week, which is not super expensive considering that we literally live 10 minutes with the metro from the CBD, and we also live close to the northern beaches. For context, we live in North Sydney, but of course cost of the rent really depends on the areas. For example, competitive suburbs like Bondi Beach or even Manly, you can see $1,000 per week for one apartment, and I'm talking about entire apartment or entire houses, because if you share your apartment or your house with other people, of course it's gonna be cheaper because you're only paying for the room. Make sure the cost of the rent is not really draining all your source of income, because rent should be important, like the place you live should be important, yes, but it also depends of the moment of the life you are living. For example, if your goal is to save, you might want to prioritize saving, so you might consider to move to a cheaper apartment instead of a super duper luxury apartment that costs $1,000 per week. Now moving on to the bills. This really depends on what type of contract you have and of course the company you are with. I would say phone, mobile phone, gas, electricity, water, you probably will be around $300 per month, but I'm sharing this with my partner, so for me it's $150 per month. And it might be more expensive, it might be cheaper for you. It really depends with how many people you are living with and your needs. Transports. Sydney transports are pretty expensive. You can pay $8 for taking the metro. However, there is a limit, there is a cap that you can spend in a week, which is $50. So I'm just usually budgeting $50 per week for the transport. So I know that if I want to travel a little bit more that week, I won't exceed those $50 of weekly budget. Okay, groceries. This is a very interesting one. Groceries in Australia are pretty expensive. However, I want to say that not crazily expensive, because when I go back to Italy after 2 years and a half living here and I went to the supermarkets for groceries, I realized that the cost of the groceries in Italy is not that cheaper compared to the one in Australia. And the salaries in Australia are probably double or 3 times higher than the salaries in Italy. So it's not too crazy. However, I should admit they are still pretty expensive. Of course, it really depends on what you are buying, but in our case, with my partner, we share the groceries cost and we pay around $200-250 per week of groceries. I want to say that we really prioritize high quality food. We really care about our health, our body. We both go to the gym, so we really prioritize whole meal food, a lot of fruit, a lot of veggies. They are very expensive here. A lot of chicken, meat. This is not super expensive, but of course, if you want high quality products, you pay more. So that really depends. I know people that pay probably $80 per week in groceries. It really depends what you prioritize. But in general, fruit and veggies are very expensive unless you find maybe your local market. We don't really have a local market nearby, unfortunately, so we have to buy fruit and veggies at the supermarkets. We only buy the basics like carbs, fruit and veggies, meat, eggs, almond milk, because we are both lactose intolerant. So, and it's around $250 per week. We also recently started ordering like our fish and our meat online with Butcher Crowd. This is not sponsored. I might reach out to them for a partnership maybe in the future, because I generally love their product. They send you at home like a box. You can customize your box, you can decide the product. So this is another like a good way to do groceries if you want to prioritize high quality food, and if of course it's more expensive than groceries at the supermarket, but the products are so good. I forgot to mention at the beginning, the way we manage our finance with my partner is that we have a shared account, a shared bank account, where we budget everything we need to pay: rent, groceries, I think bills as well, transport, like everything. So actually transport is a separate account, but I will talk about it in a finance dedicated video. Other things that we factor in the budget is the health insurance, because yeah, you can have the Medicare, but you might also want to have an extra coverage with the health insurance. We pay $25 roughly with the BUPA or BUPA per week, but of course there are also more expensive insurance. And we also factor budget for Uber or Didi, because we don't own a car here, we don't have a car. We have decided to not buy a car because we really live near the CBD, near our offices, so we can just take the public transports, and where we need a car, we just hire it for one day, we rent it for one day, we use car sharing services like Popcar or GoGet. So because we have done all the calculations, and at the end of the year we save so much money just renting a car for those 1 or 2 days in the month when we need it. So, and we also have our subscriptions like Spotify or Netflix, but this really depends on your need. People decide to not have subscriptions. We like to have like Spotify Duo account because we like audiobooks a lot, or for example because we just don't want to hear the advertising, because I use Spotify a lot when I listen to music at the gym, or it can be Apple Music or whatever other sort of music service, as well as Disney Plus or Netflix. We only have Netflix, and that's it. We don't have many subscriptions. We try to keep it very minimal, because we also try to not consume a lot of TV series or entertainment. We have maybe once per week our movie night, because we both really like cinema, but that's pretty much it. So in the end, my monthly expense of living in Sydney is $3,000, give or take, 3,100, 3,200. It really depends, because for example bills, they don't come every month sharp, they might come every fortnightly, so we adjust based on when we have to pay the bills. But yeah, generally 3,100 per month. We try to really keep our expenses as minimum as possible, because our goal now is saving and investing as much as possible. So that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you at the next one. I forgot to introduce myself. If you are new here, hi, my name is Martina, and I'm an Italian girl who moved to Sydney from Italy 4 years ago, and I'm here trying to build a YouTube channel, so I will be talking about everything I learned in those 4 years. Think about like your big sister giving you the advice she wished she knew when she was 20. If you want to support, hit the subscribe button and stick around.